Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. This is, or should I say, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. This is Assembly of the Righteous. Today is October 4th, 2025. October 4th, 2025. And we just got done with part one of um, the death of Saul. And I wouldn't believe, I didn't believe, I thought I paused the recording, but I didn't. So y'all will see what I did, actually getting everything set up, coming to the next part. So I didn't pause the recording, so this is going to be a little longer than expected. On the death of Saul is where we are today on the full version. So like I said, I didn't pause the recording, so I sat here, got everything together. Did everything I need to do before finishing up what I need to do. And y'all sit up here. I guess y'all watch me eating everything. you know. But other than that, we're back at 1 Samuel chapter 30, and we're at verse 18. Now, just to give you a little interlude, we shared what happened in last week in part one when Saul and got it in a witch to pull up the so-called the spirit of Samuel, which is really the spirit of Yah, but the spirit of Samuel. And then also after that was last week, and this is the reason why today is called the death of Saul. And then in chapter 30, not too long ago, which is in part one, and the Amalekites came and they took the people of Ziklag. They took the people of Ziklag, the third day of the month, because I guess it was the third day of the new moon. I believe it was, because it said the third day. All the people of the Amalekites came. They stole all the people. They burnt the city down, and they came and stole the people, and they took the people off. But they didn't kill anybody. But they burnt the city down and took all the spoil and everything. But not only that, they did that to the Philistines as well. So the Amalekites did it to the Philistines because all the Philistines were there fighting Israel. Some people probably didn't even pick that up. I want to make sure I get that point, because that was something that the young man had said, that invasion upon the south of the Chezrelites and upon the coast of that belongs to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. That was the end of verse 13. David said unto him, we made invasion upon the south of Chezrelites and upon the coast which belongeth to Judah, and upon south of Caleb, which was, I think Caleb was one of the sons, that came in. Caleb and Jacob went in, so I think that was his land. And we burned Ziklag with fire. And David. Oh, okay, right here in verse 16 it says, and when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread upon all the earth, eating and drinking. Or this was a young man was talking, and swearing to me, saying that God, thou would not kill me, nor deliver me into the hands of my master. This is verse 15 of 1 Samuel chapter 30. And he said, swear unto me by Yah, that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hand of my master, and I will bring thee down to his company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of the great spoil that they had taken out of the land. Here we go. Great spoil they taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. So I guess the Chezrelites, out the south of the Chezrelites, I guess that was the Philistines. and the post that belongeth unto Judah, and the coast that belongeth to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burnt Ziklag with fire. So it's keys in this. Ziklag may have belonged to Caleb, maybe, which is still part of Judah. Who knows? I can't say yeah or nay. But these are just clues that people need when we're studying. These are things to look for. Invasion upon the south of Caleb. Just want to make sure I get this. These are different clues that people do not pay attention to. And upon the coast that which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burnt Ziklag. Okay, we got Ziklag with fire. But that's when they made their invasion. But then they also go to show dancing because they great sport that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. But another key to that, and David smote them. Now I'm going into 18. Verse 17 says, and David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. And I would say the twilight is when you're right at the edge of night, going into the night, even until the evening, which is either anywhere into the evening, which is the noonday, or anywhere into the noonday the next day. Right? And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men. Now, the young men could have been boys, little boys, teenagers, or something like that, which rode upon camels and fled. 400. Now, how did they get the number? There was 400 of them that fled. David recovers all the spoils. Okay, now we're going into verse 18. Now we're getting started in part 2. And we're at verse 18. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 wives, right? Excuse me. And there was nothing lacking to them. Neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David had recovered all. This was of the Creator. But what I want y'all to understand, they was ready to kill David over in verse 6 and 7. They was ready to kill David because all this stuff was gone. But y'all got to understand the hand of the Creator. Nothing was lacking. Nothing was dead. And why was the Amalekites? The Amalekites was the same ones that the Creator told Saul to go kill. They're the one that the Creator told Saul to kill. Now David went and he killed all those people at that time. I don't know if he was finished or not, but with those people, that's who he killed at that time, who he got out, the Creator had told Saul to kill. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drove before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drove before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. Mm-hmm. And David came to the 200 men. All right. Let me put it like this. This is David's spoil. Because David was the one who led him. How he do it? Through the word of the Creator, when he inquired. Everybody else was scared and stuff. David said, come on, y'all, let's go. After he inquired of the Creator. And David came to the 200 men which were faint, that they could not follow David. whom they had made also abide at the brook Bezor. And they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. See, you say salute. We don't say salute. That's not our word. I'm surprised they ain't put greeted him, but they got salute. Then answered all the wicked men and men. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial. Okay, here we go. This is who's talking. Of the wicked men and the men of Belial. Of those that went with David. Okay. So this goes to show you always got somebody of Satan, meaning the negative people. That's what you got to look at. You say they're saying wicked here, but these are people with negative spirits. That's all it is. Then answer all the wicked men and men of Belial of those that went with David and said, because they went not with us. See, these are the people who was talking against them now. Now see, check this out. And said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered. Say to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then David said, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yah has given us. You see that? You see that? This is what they said. Because they went not with us. We will not give them nothing. See that? Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, men of Satan, those that went with David. But see, this goes to show the difference. When people talk about Satan, like I always told you, Satan is within you. When they talk about Satan, devil this, devil that, you Satan. Let me share something with you. With the same situation here. All the people that was going against the Creator and they wanted the abortion rights and all this other stuff, they're the ones who is of Satan. They're the people of Belial. They don't even realize it. Look at this look at the example here. Because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered. Say except to every man his wife that is and his children that they may lead them away and depart. Then David said, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yah has given us, who shall preserve, who have preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part in that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. They shall depart alike. And it was from that day forward that he made it a statute. Okay. And it was from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. And when David came to Ziklag, okay, we got to make sure we got to keep that. This is special, whatever it is. What he said, we got to make sure that what he said. And it was from that day forward he made a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yah has given us. who hath preserved us, and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? Okay. But as his part in that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. Here we go right here. That stay by the stuff. But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. The company that may come against in our hand. Then said, ye shall not do so, my brethren, that which Yah has given us, with that which Yah has given us, who has preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. Mm-hmm. For who have hearkened unto you in this matter? Who have heard, who listened to you in this matter? Who is y'all to be sitting up talking? Who told you? They had to stay behind. They stayed behind, they've been behind, they stayed behind for a purpose. And when David came to, verse 26, and when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, behold. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto his elders of Judah, of the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yah. You see that? This is, I believe, what you're talking about. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders, his friends, saying, behold, of a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yah. See that spoil of the enemies of Yah, not his enemies. The enemies of the righteous. To them which were in Bethel, and to them which were in the south Ramoth, and to them which were in Jatir. So he sent a lot of stuff to them. They had a lot of stuff. Don't forget, it was the spoil of the Philistines and their own. Yeter. 28. And to them which were in Aurora, and to them which were in Shemoth, and to them which were in Estemoa, Eshtmoa, 29. And to them which were in, they had a lot of stuff. And to them which is in Rachel, and to them which were in the cities of Yeramelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Kenites, and to them which were in Hormah, and to them which were in Korashan, and to them which were in Athach, 31, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places. He got a lot of stuff. To all places where David himself and his men were wont to hunt. Were wont to haunt. Were wont to haunt. Where David and his men were wont to haunt. Chapter 31. So he sent the information throughout. He sent spoil throughout the land. He got enough from them to go. That's why they was rejoicing. And it was a lot of people for them 400 to be fighting and killing everybody from that night, which was the beginning of the night, to the noon the next day, or into far into the evening of the next day. Excuse me. Far into the evening of the next day, there was a lot of killing, and it was a lot of stuff. Right? Chapter 31. The death of Saul and his sons. The death of Saul and his sons. Here we go. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. Fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. Oh, they followed hard against him. Follow hard against him. All right. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan. Oh, man. I forgot. They slew Jonathan. And Abinadab. And Malchishua. Saul's sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab, those three. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him. And the archers hit him. He knew it was about to happen. And the archers hit him. Somebody hit him with an arrow, bow and arrow. And he was sore wounded of the archers. When they came strong, all them people came. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword, check it out. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But the armor bearer would not, for he was so afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. You see that? Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword and thrust it therewith, lest the uncircumcised come and thrust me through. And abuse me. Y'all see that right there? And abuse me? That's a clue right there. Y'all know what you mean by abusing, don't you? A lot of this gay stuff going on today. But the armor bearer would not, for he was so afraid. Therefore, he said he was going to die anyway. Saul took a sword and fell upon it. He said, no, I ain't going to let them do this to me. And I don't blame him. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword. You see there? He said, I ain't let him get me neither. And died with him. Yep. Excuse me, y'all. I'm making points here. The death of Saul and his sons. Then said Saul in verse 4 unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. So you know they're going to abuse him first and then kill him. But the armor bearer would not, for he was so afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul had died, was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. And Saul died and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together. That's verse 6. That's the word of Yah. What should I put that in? It's the word of Yah, it's prophecy. That's what the Creator told. That what the Creator told him through Samuel, the Spirit. So Saul died, and his three sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together. Verse 7. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and Saul and his sons were dead, Saul and his sons was dead, they forsook the city and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. Philistines came, they dwelt, it sounds like they dwelt in the cities. And when the men of Israel on the other side of the valley, and they were on the other side of Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. Philistines came and they dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morrow, the following day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount. That's when they noticed it. When they went to go strip, they forsook the cities and fled, and Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morrow, the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. Make sure I get that. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came and stripped they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. 9. And they cut off the head and stripped off his armor. Man. And they cut off his head. They cut Saul's head off. Boy, when the Creator's against you, he against you, boy. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor. And sent into the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the dang. Woo. Dang. Verse 9 again. And I should put this in orange. Philistines slew. Let me put that in orange. I was going to put it in orange. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent into the land of the Philistines. Make sure everybody can see me here. Round about, and published it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bashan. You see that? Put his body to the ground. Now, I don't know if that's necromancy or put his armor in the house of their god, Ashtaroth. And they fastened his body to the wall of, I don't know what Bethshan is. I don't know if that's an idol or a place of their worship. Stripped off him and sent it into the land. Cut off his head and sent it into the land of the Philistines. Boy, the Creator will. Man, it's always good to stay to publish it in the house of their idols. That's it then. That's the house of their idols. And among the people. That was his idol. There was another house of idol, the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body in the wall of Bashan. That's the house of their idols. Verse 11. And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, and when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done unto Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night, and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bashan, and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. Okay. From the wall of Bashan. Now, Jabesh, and when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men, they arose and went there all night, and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bashan, and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. So it looked like cremation was for a purpose, and they took their bones and they buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fast 7 days. Okay. They took their bones and buried them under a tree. So this is the bones, which could be the ashes. You ain't supposed to be holding on to them. You're supposed to bury them. People they put them in urns. You ain't supposed to do that. And bury them under a tree. So the bones will be the ashes at Jabesh, and they fasted 7 days. That's something. That's a death, y'all. And fasted 7 days. That is something, y'all. That's a curse. When the Father don't turn, when the Father ain't with you no more, he didn't want to get it buried, but he didn't want them to do, because they'd have mocked him and say, yeah, we did this and we did that to his body. We did this before we killed him. You know how people can talk. He said, yeah, he said about abusing him. I don't want them to he said about abuse me. Excuse me. Make sure this stands out. Because that ain't gonna show. The uncircumcised come and thrust him through and abuse him. Well, that's the end of chapter 30, y'all. Chapter 31, that is. That was the end of 31. There was only 13 verses, but all I can say, y'all, get on the Creator's right side. Get on the Creator's right side. He has no respect of person. You see right here now, even though Jonathan was a friend of David. He loved David, but the Father may put that spirit of love on him so he can always be protected. This is where the Father shows his protection amongst his people. The Father shows his protection amongst the people by giving you favor with people and people looking out for you. That's your key of protection. A lot of times it may not even be the person, it may be just a favor of the Creator on you. Even though Jonathan, it always said Jonathan loved David. If you notice that. It always said how much Jonathan loved David. And then really speak on how much David really cared for Jonathan, even though David was a friend to him. No, I treat people like I want to be treated. But it always talk about how Jonathan loved David like his brother, like his own brother. Jonathan even said that, he even told David, when you be king, I just want to sit next to you. That's the Creator. Some people can't even see past the storm. Like right now, I share information with these people about the Father's name is his law. They can't see past a regular name. They looking at the Creator like a man. The Creator's name is his law, and those who respect his law is his jewels. And this is sad that people cannot see beyond what the scriptures is showing. The scriptures show you everything clear as day, but no, I understand people are blind. Just understand that. Just have to understand people are blind. They're blind today. They've been blind. And a lot of people choose not to see. We got one brother, he got that's why I was kind of late, but one brother, everybody's giving this Yahshua praise. So I asked him a question. Well, why don't you do it for all the other prophets? Why are you singling out Yahshua, who they got the story from and they named Jesus? See, they in denial and they use excuses. People are in denial and they use excuses and try to say, okay, all in all, we see you. We see you. Me, myself, I always say, and I don't care how much I try to twist, the Father see you too. All y'all. The ones who call yourself straight Hebrew Israelites, just Old Testament only, and the ones, y'all Hebrew Christians. I ain't even talking about the Christians and the Jacobs. They're dead anyway. When I say dead, they're dead in the mind and the Creator's word. But I'm talking about you Hebrew Christians who start to know that the Creator's law is word. The Creator's law is final. And that's through him and his prophets. I just read to you, and I do it every Sabbath. the law and the prophets. He spoke on the law and he spoke on, he said he's going to raise you up a prophet from among your brethren, which is a prophet in his time. All of them carried the word of Yah, the voice of Yah. And right here, the Father show you all through the word, but people's eyes are blind, and either they choose to stay blind or they just will not turn and hearken to the word that's been given by the servant of Yah. Because I'm a servant. There's many servants out here, but I'm one of them. And all I'm saying is that the creative word speaks for itself. And for those who can't see, who have eyes and see not, who have ears and hear not, these are right in front of your face. But you can't hear or see because you're blind and deaf to the real information. That's the problem we have today. And you know something? Excuses is going to run out because you see and know. It's been given to you and you know. You can't say you wasn't told, you wasn't warned, and that you didn't even inquire the Father to see if I was right or wrong or telling you the information, or did if the Creator come to you through people to give you information, and you don't inquire to find out and ask him to put the truth in you to see, to know, you at fault. Because people still choose how I'm trying to say it. Excuse me. To be in denial. But that's your choice. Father give you clues all through the book. But that's your choice. Y'all keep saying the Father's name is Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahah, Yahaya, and all this other stuff. And all through it, he keep telling you my name. And he shows you it's the law. Malachi 3:16-18 is a perfect example. How you going to make up his Jews for those who thought upon his name? And he made a book of remembrance. The book is the law. The book is the whole Bible. Y'all don't even realize this whole Bible is true. And they try to twist my word when I say, oh, the whole Bible true, oh, this and that, this and that. His name is this and that, and this and that, and this and that. Y'all have no understanding. He said that if you don't keep my law, which is the blessings, if you don't keep my law, I'm going to send you in a land that ye know not. There you're going to serve other gods, wood and stone, gods your fathers haven't known. Jesus, Yahshua, the one that y'all calling on today according from the writings of the New Testament, that's not Yahshua's story, not his true full story, because we really don't know the true full story. We're going by what was given to us that was modified by those who took his story and modified it and gave it to the world for the world to believe something other than what it is. Matter of fact, if you even calling on them, it's an abomination because you're breaking the first 3 commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image in heaven above, earth beneath, or waters on the earth, or anything or any likeness of anything. So that means no thing. The consciousness is the breath of life. That's Yah. Some people call that Yah. And I ain't saying it, I'm doing it. The breath of life is Yah. So all this stuff that people are doing and you all corrupted and just embedded yourself in, hey, you can have an ear to hear and then you don't have to. How you going to speak YHWH when there's no way you can pronounce it? People are stuck. Y'all keep trying to put Yah as a man. Yah is not a man that he can lie or do anything else other than his word that he has given through the consciousness of air to put in your mind to apprehend or comprehend. But the people choose to stay ignorant. So, I know I put you on which card earlier, Sister Nicole. I don't know if you want to say anything or not. Let's see, I don't know about it. There you go. Yeah. Would you like to say anything on what that was said earlier? I tried to get you to say something earlier. I couldn't hear from you.
here in Samuel.
Oh, you going in and out. This mug is popping on and off like ain't nothing.
Is it?
Now say something else because it was just going in and out. Dang, it's going. I'm barely here. I can barely hear what you're saying.
Has something to do with, I don't know, that this morning thing with the, I don't know, that AI. I'm not sure.
Right. Oh, I'm hearing you now. You're going through now. But what you was about to ask or say?
No, where I see that in Samuel 25, where he made this statue. So he made, this is also a law and an ordinance for Israel upon this day. When he spoke about that, he made
Wait. Samuel, where you at?
Samuel 25.
First Samuel, the chapter 25 or is it chapter 30 plus verse 25?
First Samuel verse 25.
First Samuel verse 25 in chapter 30.
Yes.
And it was from that day. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Was we in 30 today?
That's
okay. Yeah. And it was so from that day forward that he made it a statue, and not a statue as a statue is like like they have low codes and statutes and
yeah. That's what I was referencing to. So he made this a statue and the ordinance, like the codes. So basically he made this a law as of this day.
And there you go. That's right. It's a law.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking. So
do you know what he's saying at this point?
So from
I'm glad you caught that.
If I go back up, he said, then David said, you shall not do so, my brethren. I might have to go back up a little.
You will go up to 22.
Okay. He says, and then answered all the wicked men and men,
Belial, meaning all the men of Satan. Remember how always they say, well, Satan did this. Satan is the spirit within the person. So Belial is just another word for Satan and the wickedness. That's all.
Okay. Belial, of those that went with David and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them
Annie. It's just Annie.
Give them in of the soil, and we have
the spoil
that we have recovered.
Right.
Save for every man him, his wife, and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then
wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Do you understand what happened right here?
So the people, it sounds like since they didn't come with, basically, y'all with us, we ain't giving you nothing.
Wait a minute, say that again.
What they're saying, like, well, they didn't come with us. The people didn't want to come with them, so they're not going to share whatever they have with them.
That's right.
You know, and it says we will not get them out of oil we have recovered. So what they went out to get, I guess these people decided to stay back. They went out, they recovered stuff, and so sounds like it's saying, well, you didn't do nothing, you don't get nothing.
That's exactly what they were saying.
But yet these were wicked men.
Guess why they was wicked?
What? Is this the spec they had on them?
Huh?
The spec.
You going in and out, sis. Say that again.
I said have on.
I'm sorry, this thing just going. I gotta get some money to get me another computer because this right here is just a trip.
Because earlier today I was looking, I'm like, I'm like, I seen that you were just sitting there, and I'm going. I'm like, you were looking, doing some research, but I don't know. I don't think you could hear earlier, and I heard you saying that you thought you stopped the recording and everything. I heard you, but I don't think you can hear.
Yeah, I think I had you on mute at the time because I didn't want you to say nothing. That when that first started, but when I asked you just before I stopped part one, I was asking you, is there anything in here that you read or heard that you wanted to say, but I didn't hear you say that. You didn't come off the mute or anything. So I said, well, I don't know if you could hear me now, but your phone was on mute. You didn't know that you was on mute. I think I put you on mute. You didn't know it because I didn't want your back. So,
Okay.
so I just hit the ask to unmute a few moments, then it came apart, I guess. So I probably should have did that then. But the reason why was because of what you just read. What you just read was at this point, let me put my glasses back on. If you go back to chapter 30,
Okay.
if you go back to 30, hold on, okay, like verse 4 says, and then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no power, they had no more power to weep. They was crying hard. Up here, then they wanted to kill David. They took David's wife, and all the people, all their stuff was gone. And then it said, verse 6, right here, verse 6 says, and David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his son and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in Yah, in the Creator. He encouraged himself in the Creator. Then he told the priest, in verse 7, he told the priest to come and bring an ephod. And I was sharing at that time that an ephod to me is something like they use something to inquire of the Creator. And I said something like people use tarot cards and other things they do when they're doing division or what they call it, divinations and stuff like that. But also what I was saying was that people, they don't ask in the name of the Creator. They just ask for stuff. Well, I like to know this or I like to know that, but they're not doing it in the name of the Creator. Then I also gave an example about Jehoshaphat and when him and Ahaz or Ahab, one of the kings, one of the two kings, they was about to go up and they were going to fight. I think they're going to fight Syria, I believe. But one of the nations they were going to fight, and there was this prophet that Ahaz or Ahab, one of the names, I think it's Ahaz. I think that's who it was. But Ahaz, he didn't like that prophet because he always prophesied evil against him because he was an evil king in the eyes of the Creator. So when Micah came and when Ahaz asked him, "Should I go up and fight?" and Micah said, "Go up and prevail." And then he said, "I'm asking you in the name of God, in the name of Yah. Should I go up?" Then Micah gave an analogy, which I didn't say this part before, but this is in the book of the Kings or the Chronicles. Micah gave an analogy saying that the Creator was up and he's seen all these spirits out here. He said, who should go up and entice Ahab to fall in the battle? Now all these different spirits said, I'll go, or they was talking one another. No, all of them was talking one another. Then one came up, he said, I'll go, and he said, wherewith? Well, how you gonna go? He said, well, I'm gonna be a lying spirit in all his prophets. I'm gonna be a lying spirit in all his prophets. And then he said, to make him fall in the battle. Then the Creator told that spirit will go up and prevail. So when Micah was giving Ahaz when he told him at first, when he said go up and prevail, Micah was telling Ahaz, well, you go ahead on up and prevail because he didn't ask in the name of the Creator. Now he said, I'm asking you in the name of the Creator. Then that's when he gave him that analogy. And he said, you ain't going to make it through the battle. Now he told him the truth. You ain't going to make it through the battle. You ain't coming back from the battle. Then he said, put him might as well put him in prison and put him in jail until I come back. And he said, well, if you come back, the Creator ain't spoke. No different than the spirit of Samuel, which is of the Creator, told Samuel Tomorrow, you and your son's going to die. Y'all going to be here with me. Your spirit going to be back with me. So this is what I try to share with people. The scriptures tell what's going on, but people can't see. And I don't know if I'm going a long way around what I'm sharing with you, but just to go and share about the ephod. This was David. He used the ephod. He brought the ephod to David. And verse 8 says, and David inquired at Yah, saying, shall I pursue after the troop? Or shall I overtake them? Then Yah, it said, then he answered, which is then Yah answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Mean everything. Now see, this is when David recovered everything. But the Creator said that David was going to do it. The reason why David was going to do it, David inquired of the Creator. That's the reason why over here, make a long story short, over here in verse 20, it says, and David took all the flocks and the herds which they drove. This is verse 20. From that point, over here 20. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drove before those other cattle and said, this is David's spoil. Why? Because the father told him that after he inquired. All the 400 men went, but this is the reason why the other 200 didn't go. Let me go ahead and find this real quick. There's a reason and cause to everything, but we have to find the reason and cause. A lot of people are quick to assume without checking the information. It was before this point. Right up here. Oh, right here, verse 10. We go from 9, right here, verse 8, 9, and 10. And David inquired at Yah, saying, shall I pursue after the troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Verse 9. So David went, and the 600 men that were with him, and came to brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. So it was 2 of them that was left behind when they was with David the whole time. So he always left 200 with the people. Verse 10. But David pursued, and he and 400 men. Right here, that's the key.
Okay, so 200 stayed behind.
Right, exactly. These are the ones that the men of Belial didn't want to give the spoil to. So David pursued, and 400 men. I'm glad we're right here. And 400 men, for 200 abode behind. And there was a reason why. See, there's a reason for everything. And 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook. They were so faint. Why? Because they was fasting. Well, I ain't gonna say they were fasting. They hadn't ate anything.
Yeah, because they didn't share with them.
Okay, but it hadn't got to that point. Check it out. It hadn't got to that point yet. That's when, as you read the story, which was so afraid, they were so faint. The faint mean like when you won't eat. If you fast, have you fast before?
Yes, not to where I was faint though.
Okay, that's the difference. When you ain't got no food, you don't eat and you don't drink. If you read down, I don't know if you was with me when I was reading down. When they came across this Egyptian right there in verse 11. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water, verse 12. And they gave him a piece of cake and figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him. You see that?
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now, his spirit came back, and that gives you indication. That gives you indication that the guy was faint. He hadn't ate anything, right? And when he had eaten, his spirit had came again to him, for he had no bread nor drink water 3 days and 3 nights. Have you ever done that?
For 3 days. I have done it. I have done it a little more than 3 days, but
I've done it 5. But the Spirit was upon me when I was doing it. See, he was just doing it because he didn't have, they left him in the field. I think, and it said, because 3 days ago gone, I felt sick. He felt sick as well. You see that right there in verse, the end of 13?
Yeah, so he basically, for the human body, he had no real food, and then also for the spirit,
There you go.
no
Good way of putting it, sis. Good one.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Because if you're fasting for the Creator, I went 5 days. And when you're fasting, see right here, it just said, it said he 3 days he felt sick. And it said he was out there 3 days, he just had no food and no water to drink. He wasn't doing it for the Creator. So you hit it right on the nose, sis.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Baby, I'm glad to see you on. I see you finally made it here. Joanne said hi. She's over her mama's house taking care of mama right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello. So it says, and it said, we made invasion upon the south of the Chezerites and upon the coast where it belonged to Judah. As I'm reading down, the Chezerite was the Philistine. So while the Philistine was fighting Israel, they went in and invaded the Philistines. And they took a lot of spoil out of there. And then they went to Judah, which was the city of Ziklag, where David and them people was. They came and took everything, but they didn't kill anybody. They burnt the city and took all the spoil. But they took all the people and everything as well. But as we can see, we just read when it said that for 200 abode behind. And the reason why is because they was faint. They hadn't had any food or something, so they was faint. That's the reason why they fell behind. Mm-hmm. Right? So this is the reason why the 200 fell behind, because they was faint and everything. They couldn't keep up. And over here, after they won and full, this is where 22 comes in at. It said, then answered all the wicked men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, and this goes to show selfishness.
Okay, all right. Okay, so these men who are speaking, these are the 400 who went with him.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
You got it now?
Yeah, so these are still dead men, okay, and then they turned against the 200.
Well, they didn't really turn against them. It said, that's why it says, greetings, baby. I'm glad you made it here with us. Glad to see you. I'm already done. I finished everything, but we're just going through like questions and answers at this point in time. But yeah, sis, what happened was this. It says, then answer all the wicked men. When it says wicked men, you don't know who wicked. Everybody is still good. Everybody can be good. But you don't. The people that talks wickedly is wicked. Right. When they talk again, when they don't talk, like right now, we're supposed to be helping each other, right? Right. Dang, something just hit me. Joanne.
What?
I'm talking about, I'm saying that because of Joanne. For a person, something just hit me. People that don't want to help people is wicked.
Right.
And that's the bottom line. That's what this is saying. Uh-huh. People that don't want to help others is wicked, because the Creator, all this is the Creator's. We're supposed to help each other in the things we do and things like that. But just like it says here, then answer all the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David. Not all 400, it was certain ones in the 400 that was there.
Okay.
Of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught, anything of the spoil that we have recovered, except to every man his wife and his children. Mm-hmm. Every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. So the wives and children was the ones that was captured. So the men's of the 200 had wives and children that was there amongst all the ones that went and saved. So he said, well, we don't give it to the men, we don't give it to the wives and the children. Okay. Because they didn't go. But they was faint. They couldn't, if the person in charge said, okay, we're going to let y'all stay here, we'll be back. The other 400 went, They did what they had to do. And the ones, not everybody, but the ones who spoke out against them, David said, no, we ain't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't doing that. No, you ain't gonna give just to the mother, to the wives and the children, and don't give the men nothing. They was with us the whole time. They just couldn't make it. And that's why it was so from that day forward, and he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. And you just said it, it's a law. Yes, it is. It's a law. We're supposed to help each other. It's stuff going on right now that some people just not able to do.
So I'm trying. I'm looking here, and I'm trying to find what this law would fall under in the present right now. But I'm gonna go into this a little more on my own, and I'm gonna find out
And get an understanding. I understand exactly what you're saying.
What it reference to today.
Well, I look at it like this. If we see a poor man, put it like this. The poor shall always be in the land.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to help the poor. Some people may not even have the knowledge to understand certain things.
Right.
Some people may not be able to even grasp like the stuff that we're coming to know and building and understanding. This is like me. A lot of these so-called Moors and people that's going, I'm not going off because it's all the same thing.
Right.
A lot of these so-called Moors and people who have gained knowledge, and you know what I'm talking about at this point. They have the knowledge and they're making people pay for something that we supposed to be sharing and giving for free. The knowledge that is. Now, if I have to work for it, you're going to have to pay me. Even though in my work I'm doing, I'm receiving because the Creator is always blessing me and us. When he gives us, we give away freely because we get it freely, right?
Right. Right.
But here, even though they fought for it, these men, they couldn't make it because they tried. They stayed back, and who knows? 400 always was with David, so they might have been taken care of. The 200 that's always laying back, they might have been like, okay, we know we're going to watch over everything, and whatever happened, whatever's going on at that time tells it. But the whole point is this is just showing the fact about how we're supposed to deal with each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why the statute, but you have to see it in a way where you understand it instead of just looking at it word for word. And that's the problem I was talking with today about this name calling, everybody calling Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yah this, Yah that. Oh, his name is this. And they ain't looking at the word. The word is his name.
What we just talked about here, I seen a little something about how when the wolves travel, especially when they're getting ready to hunt, they have the strength in the front. They have the I believe it's the cubs and the females, and then they have the elders in the back, and then they have another strength in the back. It's how they travel when they're about to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of put me in the mind, even though that these men right here, everybody don't have the same strength.
There you go.
Yeah. And everybody have different assignments.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. And then we also spoke about when they went in and they cut off Solomon's head.
Yeah.
When they cut off his
Saul's head. Saul's.
Yeah, when they cut off Saul's head, and what they did to his sons. I don't know if that has any reference to when God, he wants the body back whole. So if you take the head from one place, I don't know if these men are wicked, thinking that the body won't basically go to rest because it's not whole, or how when they burn the body, it's ashes, because God never says anything about. I never heard him say anything about that. He wants ashes back to him. He said he wants the body back how he gave it to you.
Yeah. Only thing happened is in this story, they took his body. They went and I think they got the whole body back. Even though they didn't speak on the head, they said they went back into that place and got the body back. They went and got the body, and they burnt the body, and then they buried his ashes under a tree. And I look at the ashes is the bones. Today we would call them the bones. Back then, I don't know if his bones turned to ashes. I don't know. But then again, at certain points in the book, where certain things happen in a certain type of way that I can go into, but it make it a long story. But what I'm gonna say is this: according to what we're seeing here, when they burnt them, they didn't keep the ashes. They burnt them and they put them under. Some people they give it to the sea. They put the eats, but they burnt his ashes and put them in put them under the ground. Burnt his bones and they buried the bones under a tree. So they could have been ashes and it wasn't said it, but who knows? You know. But I don't know if that has anything to do with the afterlife. You know, just saying about the head. See, don't forget it was the enemies that cut the head off. And they took the head off. They did that to promote it, just like David when he cut Goliath's head off. Everybody seen that his head, you know, he's gone. They took his stuff. They did the same thing to Saul. They cut the head off and they promoted it around the Philistines, showing. Then they put his body and his armor and stuff in the place of their gods. You know, as a trophy. You know, some of these Caucasians, they what they call them when they stuff animals.
When they put them up on the wall and they had them.
And yeah, they have done that to some of our people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, these now you talking about wicked man, this is evil. I forgot what you called it when they stuff animals and stuff like that, but these people is wicked. Now, but what I want to share with you, when you read on down after 26, when you see it says verse 26, when it says verse 25 and 26 says, and it was from that day forward that he made a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day, which is a law. And when David came to Ziklag and sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, behold, the present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yah. And when you read verse 27 to 31, that was a lot of stuff that they were sending out to all throughout the countries. That was a lot of stuff. So when they was killing them from when it said from the fifth verse 16 and 17. And when he had brought him down, which is that little man, behold, they were spread abroad amongst all the earth, upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines. See, they had invaded Philistine and out of the land of Judah, the place that they came, Ziklag. 17. And David smote them from the twilight even unto, meaning the going down at the end of the day, not sunset, but at the end of the day where there's no more light. From the twilight even unto the evening of the next day, meaning even unto the noon or after the noon part of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save which is except 400 young men which rode upon camels and fled. They rode upon camels, 400 young men. But the Creator said kill them all, but that wasn't in the time of David. That was in the time of Saul. So those 400 young men, you don't know if those young men was the ones in the time of Esther. They might have been in the book of Esther, because I think those were the same men that tried to kill off the Israelites in the book of Esther. So just hypothetically saying. But the 400 young men got away. They allowed them to get away, as far as I'm concerned. Then they go to say, and David recovers all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives, and there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. And that's when they said in verse 20, the end of 20, this is David's spoil. So this David became king He was already king, but this showed him as being king at this point in time. So that was David's spoil, because David was the one who inquired of the Creator to go. Everybody else was sad and mad and well, but David inquired of the Creator in verse 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8, the Creator gave him his answer. So, but all that, this is examples of how we're supposed to be living. These are the examples of how we're supposed to be living and things we're going to do. Now, baby, I know you just coming in. You can say a little something if you like, but I know you just getting in, and I don't know if you want to say anything according to anything or not, yay or nay. But we've just this is the end of 1 Samuel. Next week we'll be starting in 2 Samuel, the second book of Samuel. 2 Samuel will be starting there next week, and it says here, and there it says the result of David at Hebron, chapter 1 through chapter 4 is going to be said the death of Saul's second account. That's the second account of his Saul. So they're going to be mostly going into the death of Saul again, I guess. But it was the death of Saul, which is today. We went through. The second account means David, look like it says, he learns of Saul's death. But we'll find that out next week, going through that. But other than that, I'm glad you did make that. I'm glad you made that point out, though. That was a law. See, this is the reason why when we all get a chance to sit down and talk and conversate and what's being read, we can go through stuff by questions. And I appreciate that, sis.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, you know what? This is not the first time I've seen it, and I meant to ask you about that. So about these statutes and the ordinance, because I kind of see them spread out, certain laws that's being made. And I want to make sure that that it is what I'm thinking. It's a law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's law because it's the kingdom of David. We that's why the Creator said, and it might be a lot more we're gonna come through in this because the Creator established this David's kingdom forever. So David was the king that the Creator established, even though Saul was the first king. But Saul's king wasn't established to be his kingdom. That's the reason why David's kingdom was established under a man after the Creator's own heart. So David set some rules as well, as we can see. That's the first one that we can see.
Right.
So, baby girl, you got anything you want to say, baby Joanne? You got anything you want to share? She ain't saying nothing.
No, I'm sitting here listening because I'm taking care of Mom.
I understand, baby. All right. Well, we actually at the end of 29 and 30. Is there anything else you want to share, Nicole?
No, not right now.
Okay. Well, I'm glad where we are. Hopefully you on with us tomorrow night. Tomorrow I'll be telling more of my story. I think I get a chance today to go into it because I didn't listen to it, and I think I redid 3 and 4 with 5 and 6, but I'm gonna find out because I've really been busy last week. I didn't get a chance to go in there to check out. But I'm gonna finish up more of my story that Brother G1 wanted me to go through for open conversation, which is fight fire with truth. But other than that, I guess we're gonna call it the end of, well, it ain't the end of the Sabbath, but this is the end of the first book of Samuel, and hopefully we got a lot out of it. Next week we're starting the second book of Samuel, and we'll go from there. Other than that, I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me, showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be, waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see, that Mikael is really me. Other than that, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you always, let me end up first, the benediction, then the Shema, then the information heading out. Yeah, buddy. Make sure I stay on point. The benediction. Right here. Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 to 37. The benediction. It says the priestly benediction, but this is the priest that's supposed to be speaking for the children of Israel. I'm just giving a benediction because of what I've come to know, and thankfully that is here for me to share, because this is what we need to be blessed by, not what, who. Excuse me. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's name upon the children of Israel, which is his law, and I will bless them. You see that? And I'll put my name, which is his law, upon the children of Israel, and Yah will bless them. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shekebo, Vakuto Yolam, Vaed, Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah our Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Bless Yah for all you've done, been doing and plan to do. We thank you for all you've done, and we bless you. We praise you, bless you, and thank you for another beautiful Sabbath day, and in all your ways. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Praise you Almighty. Now, if you'd like to get in contact with me, if you'd like to call or text, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. And also you can email me at LKH LKHYYM. That's LKHYYM at gmail.com. And you can also connect with me on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. That's YouTube and also X, formerly known as Twitter. And that channel is JUICEPRO33. That's Juice Pro 33, which is JUICEPRO33, all together. Not separated, just all together. One word, Juice Pro 33. And my Instagram and my TikTok. Now you can like, subscribe, and share on those as well. YouTube and TikTok. My Instagram and my TikTok is L'chaim_the Juice. That's L'chaim_the Juice, which is LKHYYM_THEJUICE. That's LKHYYM_THE. JUICE. That's L'chaim_the Juice. My other TikTok is Michael the Juice Harris, which is MICHAEL Harris. That's all together, one word. That's from my last TikTok or other TikTok. MichaelTheJuiceHarris, all together. That's my other TikTok. Now, my Facebook is Michael Harris, which is MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. That's MI''CHAEL space HARRIS, excuse me, Michael Harris. Now, for the full version of the YouTube, which is from Zoom, that full version is on YouTube under video. The part 1 and part 2 is under live, but the video is the full version, and also which is Juice Pro 33. And also on X, formerly known as Twitter, the full version is there. And also the full version is known on patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM and rumble.com/LKHYYM. Rumble.com/LKH, excuse me, YYM. All right, and if you'd like to catch on the platforms that we're on as of today, starting up with tomorrow's platform, which is beginning of the week, the night after Sunday, which people call Sunday nights, but it's just the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. We're on Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. On so-called what we call Mondays, which is the second day of the week, we're on Michael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Michael's Knowledge of Truth, spelled, Michael's Knowledge of Truth, which is on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. There's 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Michael's Knowledge of Truth. We have on Tuesdays, Introductory to Solving Class of Knowledge. Introductory to Solving Class of Knowledge. And that's on Tuesday, nights after Tuesday. Night after Tuesday. At 6, actually it's in the evening, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 6 p.m. in the evening, Eastern Time. Introductory to Solving Class of Knowledge. We're going to have soon on what we call Wednesdays, the night of Wednesday, Wednesday evening, Freedom Solving Class of Knowledge. Freedom Solving Class of Knowledge. That will be on, but you have to get past the introductory first. Last but not least, on the Sabbath day, we're here with Sabbath. I don't know why it's not coming. Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous. I don't know why it didn't come through. Assembly of the Righteous on the Sabbath day. And that is at 12 p.m. noon on the Sabbath day, which is today. Assembly of the Righteous. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience. See, I'm getting tired again, so I'm ready to go back and lay down. I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. Other than that, I love you. Appreciate love you. And hopefully everybody had a good day today with the book of Samuel. First book of Samuel. Next week we'll be in the second book of Samuel, which is part 2. I love you, appreciate you, and we're going to take you off first. Matter of fact, I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you, Zoom. Thank you. Appreciate, love you, and always pause here. Peace.
Recording stopped.
All right. Now over here on, let's say, Facebook Live. Facebook, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. Talk to you soon and always. Peace. Well, my eyes is. What's up, baby girl? Over here on Instagram, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you in all ways. Peace. There we go. And over here on YouTube Live.
So now eggs is not even nearing eggs. They don't even.
I want you to see that in a minute. Thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you in all ways. Peace.